Donnie Weddle Show. Hey, I want to take just a couple of minutes to let people get logged on. I know they're going to be with us today. While they're getting logged on, reach out there, give me some likes, some comments. We get going through this thing. Share your video with me if you want to, if you wouldn't appreciate it. First off, I do want to let you know that I am an agent with Keller Williams, and this is not a commercial. This is simply an episode. I'm going to give you a little bit of information about how to sell your home and the processes that come along with that. So the process we're talking about today is with a realtor. Did you know that over 88% of all for sale by owners actually eventually list and sell their home with a realtor? If you think about it, why would you want all the headache yourself? Why would you want to take and get into things that you're not familiar with and put yourself in legal jeopardy? So list your home with a realtor when you get ready to sell. Now there's a normal flow to the process. First thing you want to think about is you need to select a good realtor. Well, I covered that last week in hiring a good realtor video. If you didn't get a chance to see it, go back and check it out on YouTube. Anyway, so the thing you need to think about once you've got your agent, you're going to have them do a walkthrough of your home and tell them what exactly needs to be done in the home to make it look its best. It's always best to have that other opinion out there, if you will. You kind of get, I used to call it home blind or whatever. When you're in the same area, the same home all the time, you tend to overlook the small stuff. So that being said, put your best foot forward. Only spend money where you have to. Your realtor can help guide you through that as well. Okay? So now the thing that they're going to do is they'll start doing their job. They're going to be running CMAs, or a comparable to market analysis, and that is going to assist you in help setting the proper price for your home. Once you've established the price, your agent is going to probably ask you to sign a listing agreement, as well as some other documents. He's going to be asking you to fill out a disclosure form, which basically says whether things are in working order, not in working order, or you're not aware of it. He's going to do a disclosure to you on the brokerage agreement that he's representing you as a seller, and he may represent the buyer as well. Once you've signed the documents, then you're going to get into a discussion, or you should have a discussion about how soon you want to sell the home and how soon they can move the home for you. And then the other thing is how you like to be communicated with. It's critical. If you want to be communicated, you got to let the realtor know how you like to be communicated with, whether it's text message, phone call, and so on. Okay? A good realtor will have many professionals that will help them in the process. And one of them, once you've got the home all nice and shiny, they want to take professional photography. Insist on professional photography, not their Android phone taking pictures. Once they get those took, then they're going to upload those into the MLS, or the multi-list service, which is actually the online porthole that agents use to find out the information about the homes. Of course, you're also probably going to have a yard sign put out in the yard at this time. Hopefully they've got a very good marketing plan that is in place and they're rolling with, so that you can start getting some interest in your home, or what we call traffic. Once you start getting traffic in the home, hopefully we'll be getting some showings of the home. Agents actually come out and viewing the home, that type of thing. It's recommended that you are not at the home when a buying agent brings a potential buyer to the home, and there's many different reasons, and your agent can go through that with you. So let's jump in it. Let's assume you've done all that and you're getting offers on the home. Well, your agent will go over each of them with you, or they should go over each of them with you in detail, because each offer is going to be unique within itself. Many of them have different terms, timelines, things that the buyer may be asking for, things of that nature. Now, if you agree with the contract and you sign it, then that's known as an accepted offer. If you refuse or reject that offer, typically you're going to make a counter offer if you want to sell your home. Now, let's say that, let's jump out there and let's just say that, okay, you've made a counter offer, the buyer has accepted it. Now what happens? Well, your agent is going to actually take your contract, the earnest money, to the title company of your choice, and they're going to start with what they call escrow. Some areas you actually have to pay, or some areas and some title companies, they actually want you to pay for the title work up front before they start that process. So check with your agent so you know if you're going to have that expense or not. So Once you've got that going, the next few steps is very minimal for the seller itself. The buyer and the buyer's agent, well, they'll be going to be working with a lender to try to get the financing to make sure that that's all in place when it comes time for closing. Most buyers are going to actually ask for inspections to be done. So they're going to hire an inspector to come out, look at the home, go through, do the inspections. And it's at this point that you'll come back into play, and your agent will be back into play. Be doing what we call the deal breakers, or can be the deal breakers. It's the TRR process. Or, to put it simply, it's the things that the buyer would like to have repaired or replaced prior to closing. And that is a negotiable thing. So if they're asking for way more than you would like to do, you can always refuse. Now that could be where the deal breaker comes in, as I was speaking of. So if it's not going to cost you a fortune, do it, get it done, get the home sold, and move forward. You know, I talked about the lending process a while ago, where your lenders are going to ask for, or they're going to request an appraisal being done. And so they'll hire an appraiser to come out and give them the value of the home. They're going to compare that to what the loan request is. And if there's a difference, the buyer may have to come up with a difference, or you may have to make a concession and lower your asking price of the home. So that all gets into the banking aspect of it and that type of thing. That'll be a future episode that we're going to be doing, and I'll be going into detail with you on that. I'm going to be having the assistance of an actual lender help me with that. So, all right. So now we're going to move in. We're going to move in a notification from the title company, and what that basically is your agent is going to receive notice from the title company that A, there was no issues with the title and you're good to move forward, or B, there was issues with the title, it wasn't clear, and so there was some work to do. So if you're going to be able to move forward because the title's clear and you got a good title ready to move on, they'll also notify the lender, and they'll start that piece rolling, so the lender will finish and finalize the last piece of the puzzle, if you will. So your agent is also going to be receiving a settlement sheet, and that is something that they'll get in like about 3 days, typically on average. It'll get to them, and basically it's the credits and debits that are going in and out of the fund, and in a nutshell, it's the bottom line, what you as a seller will put in your pocket at the end of the day. So now, let's jump ahead to the day of closing. The buyer and their agent usually will do a walkthrough of the home to make sure it was in the same condition it was when they made the offer. It's something you need to think about, is you will need to bring 2 forms of identification with you to the closing table so you can truly identify who you are. Now, at the closing table, the buyer will have already signed the documents when you sit down. Typically, you're not in the same room. They'll come in a little bit before you and sign documents, and that way when you sign your documents, you turn over your keys, your garage door openers, things of that nature, you walk out of there with your check. Of course, your check is going to be minus all the different costs that are going to come with that. And again, we go through those more in detail when we break down the actual closing costs. We'll have a class on closing done by a title company with us. So this is just a snapshot of the selling process. It wasn't to be the end-all answer of everything. I hope you got something out of it. So if you did, as I'm closing, please give me some likes, comments, shares. I want to thank the few of you that joined in. It was good to see you get on. Again, if this is something you're enjoying and you want to see more of, log on to YouTube and key in or search for The Donnie Weddle Show. Subscribe to it. You'll get a weekly notification as I upload videos to it. There'll be more content coming as I'm just getting started with this. It's been enjoyable so far. We hope you've enjoyed it. We're learning as we do it. And of course, the Facebook Live is brand new to us as well. So one thing I would ask you is be in the know or watch my show, DW Talks, Market Trends, Buying and Selling Tips, and have a great evening.